Hi friends, Namaste. Now I present the chart of a Homeo doctor. Please listen to this analysis carefully with patience. The native of this chart is BHMS, Bachelor of Homeopathic Medicine. Right now he is doing MD. So he has not yet started any profession or any job. Now see the D1 chart. The Janma Lagna is Simha. Lord of the Lagna is the Sun, and he is in the 11th house, Mithuna. This native also is a day-born native because his the time of birth is 9:58 a.m. So, Arudha Lagna is Mesha, and Arudha Labha is in Kumbha. So, the Atmakaraka is Sun, and the Karakamsa Lagna is Mithuna. See some Raja Yogas in the D1 chart. Number one, a small but important Raja Yoga is, it is said that if there is moon in the 11th house from Lagna for a night-born native, and if the sun is in the 11th house from Janma Lagna for a day-born native, it is a Raja Yoga. Here, sun is in the 11th house from Lagna, and the native is a day-born native. He was born at 9:58 a.m. on that day. Number two, the Lagna is a Simha. The sixth lord is Saturn. The eighth lord is Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter are in Parivartana. So for Simha Lagna, sixth lord Saturn and eighth lord Jupiter are in mutual exchange of signs. So this is called combination of sixth and eighth lords is called Viparita Raja Yoga. We know the combination, the full combination is the combination of sixth lord, eighth lord, and the 12th lord is actually Viparita Raja Yoga. Even if two of them, sixth lord and eighth lord, or eighth lord and 12th lord, or sixth lord and 12th lord, any two of them combined, then also Viparita Raja Yoga arises. Then the combination of sixth and eighth lords is called Viparita Raja Yoga. If the natural benefit, another Raja Yoga, this is important Jaimini Raja Yoga, you see, if the natural benefits, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, and waxing moon are the lords of sixth, eighth, and 12th houses. See carefully. First, natural benefits, then lords of cadent houses, sixth, eighth, and 12th houses. Then, if they are debilitated and simultaneously aspecting the Janma Lagna. If there are four conditions, they must aspect the Janma Lagna. They must be debilitated. They must be natural benefits. They must be the laws of 6th, 8th, and 12th. Then a Raja Yoga arises. Here, Jupiter is the lord of 8th house from Lagna. He is debilitated. He is a natural benefit. He is debilitated in Makara, which is the 6th house from Lagna, and he is aspecting Janma Lagna. So, the Raja Yoga applies. Here, just take a pause. Here is very important and is confusing for all the learners of astrology or even some scholars also. Here, Simha Lagna Jupiter is not only the eighth lord or lord of the eighth house, but he is the lord of the fifth house too. Fifth house is Dhanus. Then why should we consider Jupiter as the lord of the eighth house only? But moreover, Dhanus is the Moola Trikona house. So when Jupiter is the lord of Dhanus and Meena, usually we are tempted to say he is the lord of Dhanus, the fifth house, because Dhanus is the Moola Trikona house. So usually we prefer Jupiter to be considered as the lord of the fifth house, as fifth house Dhanus is a Moola Trikona sign. So here we need some discretion. Here, Jupiter is connected to Dhanus by association or aspect. We must consider Jupiter as the fifth lord only. So forget about this exchange. Suppose Simhalagna, when Jupiter is in the fifth house, or if Jupiter is aspecting fifth house, then you must consider him as only the fifth house. You ignore his eighth lordship. On the other hand, if Jupiter is aspecting eighth house, or Jupiter combines with is in the combines with eighth house, then he is eighth lord only. Jupiter is connected to Dhanus by association or aspect. We must consider Jupiter as the fifth lord only. But here, Jupiter is in exchange with Saturn, who is in the eighth house Meena. So it implies that the combination of Jupiter and Saturn here in this combination of is the combination of sixth and eighth lords. Hence, we must consider Jupiter as eighth lord occupying the sixth house. If, on the other hand, Saturn is in Dhanus and Jupiter is in Makara, then also it is Parivartana. Then here we must consider Jupiter as the fifth lord. And we must consider the Parivartana of Jupiter and Saturn as the Parivartana of fifth and sixth lords. With regard to Saturn, also the same problem. Saturn is the lord of sixth house and seventh house for Simhalagna. So he is only the lord of the sixth house. He is the lord of the seventh house also. He for Simhalagna. But the exchange of Saturn with Jupiter in Makara, we must consider Saturn as the lord of Makara only, that is the sixth house. So this is the combination or the exchange. The exchange also is a combination of Saturn and Jupiter is Viparita Raja Yoga. So Taladipika says combination is mainly of three types. Actual physical combination in the same sign, mutual aspect, or mutual exchange. All these three types are called combinations. Here, Jupiter is giving two Raja Yogas. One is Viparita Raja Yoga with Saturn. The another Raja Yoga is a natural benefic, debilitated and aspecting the Lagna. That is another Raja Yoga already explained. Now, there is Vishesha Raja Yoga where Jupiter is involved. There is yet another Raja Yoga, top grade Raja Yoga caused by Jupiter. Here, the Janma Lagna is a Simha, is on 28 degrees. The Hora Lagna is on Vrishchika on 7 degrees 20 minutes. The Ghatika Lagna is on Vrishabha on 20 degrees 12 minutes. All these three Lagnas are aspected by the same planet, again Jupiter. So Jupiter is the Raja Karaka. This is the Jupiter is Amarcha Karaka, signifying profession, name and fame, and honor. In the T3 chart, the Lagna is in Mesha, Hora Lagna is in Vrishchika, Ghatika Lagna is in Meena. In Makara. In the D3 chart, Saturn and Mercury are in Vrishchika in Hora Lagna, and they are aspecting Ghatika Lagna in Makara and the Janma Lagna, Drakana Lagna in Mesha. So here also, all these three Lagnas are aspected by two planets here, Saturn and Mercury. This is also a Raj Yoga, but a lesser range. Here, if these three Lagnas are occupied by the same planet in the D1 chart, it is number one Raja. If they are combined in D3 chart or D9 chart, it is only a second grade Raj Yoga. This is also a Raj Yoga, but of a lesser range. Saturn is the Lord of Kumbha, which is the Arudhalabha, Putrapada A5, and also Bhagyapada A9. So the planets causing this Raja Yoga in the D3 chart, Saturn and Mars. Mercury is Karakaraka and also the Lord of Kanya, A10, and also Mithuna, which is the fifth from A5. A5 is Kumbha, fifth from A5 is Mithuna, and also the 10th from A10. Though This is termed as a Raj Yoga of a lesser grade. But it is very important because of the Karakatwas and the lordships of the planets Saturn and Mercury, that is A5, A9, A10. So they are very important because of their lordships. Now, Dhemanta Yoga. This I already told about this yoga in several earlier charts or in earlier charts. We know the laws of third and sixth houses, or the planets occupying the third and sixth houses from the Janma Lagna or from Karakansha Lagna, are aspected by the respective Lagnas. It is Dhemanta Yoga. Again, if the Lord of the fifth house of Janma Lagna or Karakansha Lagna aspects that Lagna, then that is also Dhemanta Yoga. The native is of high intellectual caliber. So here the sutra is, this is in Jaimini Sutras, a third, this one, that is third pada. The native is a man of high intellectual ability. Swapitrubhyam karmadasastadrishtya tadisha matrunatha cha themantaha. Here, the Janmalagna is Simha. Simha is aspected by planets, planet Moon from Tola, which is the third house from Simha. Then is also aspected by Jupiter from Makara, which is the sixth house from Janmalagna. Though Jupiter is debilitated, because he has exchanged with Saturn, he has attained Nichbhanga. So the Karakansha, the second part of the yoga, Karakansha Lagna is a Mithuna. Mithuna is occupied by Sun, who is the third lord from Karakansha Lagna. That is Mithuna. So again, the second part of the yoga is the fifth lord from Janma Lagna. Fifth lord from Janma Lagna is Jupiter, and Jupiter aspects Lagna from Makara. So the native is very, very brilliant. Now, let us study the profession of the native. Here, the first point to notice here is, see the Rajyapada 8 is in Kanya, which is the sixth from Arudha Lagna Mesha. So it is a very important point, please see. 8 is in Kanya. Arudha Lagna is Mesha. So the Rajyapada 8 aspects Mena, which is the 12th from Arudha Lagna Mesha. The principle is the Arudha Lagna 8 or any pada should not occupy or aspect the 12th house from Janma Lagna or Arudha Lagna. This is clearly mentioned in Gautama Samhita. It says the Rajyapada or the Koshapada, they must be in the 10th house from Arudha Lagna. So this is detrimental to the prospects of the Karakatwas of that pada. So in this case, what happens is the native struggles very much to start his profession and to settle in his profession with his profession of his taste and of salary to his satisfaction. Here, in this case, because of the influence of the several Rajayogas present in the chart, the native may struggle for some time to settle and prosper in his profession, but he is sure to prosper because of the Rajayogas, of course, by perseverance and hard work. So now you let us study the profession of the native. We know if the Arudha Lagna, Alabha, Rajyapada and their lords and AMK are connected to A6, Lord of A6 and GK, and also to Mercury and Ketu, the natural carcass for medical profession, the native, if there is indeed 10 chart, the native is a doctor. I already mentioned that the native is doing MD in homeopathy and he has not yet entered any job or practice. So we have to find out what would be his profession. Now let us see the D10 chart. See here, let us see one after another in subheadings, Arudalabha, Lord of Arudalabha, D10, etc. See, Arudalabha is Kumbha, and Kumbha has no planet in it, but the Putrapada A5 falls in Kumbha. So Arudalabha is connected to Putrapada. Please remember. Kumbha is, and the fifth from Kumbha and the A5 in it. Kumbha has A5 in it. Is aspected by Saturn from Karnataka. Saturn is the lord of Arudalabha and also the Bhratrakaraka. Arudalabha is aspected by the lord of Arudalabha. Arudalabha has A5 in it. Hence, Saturn becomes the lord of Arudalabha as well as the lord of A5 too. So the lord of Arudalabha is Saturn. He is in Karnataka. Saturn is aspecting Arudalabha and the A5 in it. But Saturn is Bhratrakaraka. That is different. Saturn is aspected by, see how many planets you see. AMK Jupiter from A6 Vrasabha, which is the sixth pada. And also the Kosapada A2, which is also in Vrasabha. Kosapada is not simply signifying money. Sources of money also are indicated. Saturn is aspecting and being aspected by Mars GK. Here, A2 and A6 combined in one house. That is very important. In the earlier horoscope also, you remember, A2 and A6 are in the same house. Then I told you, you should not be misled because A6 is for debts and expenditure. A2 is for earning. If these two padas are together, we may doubt that the native has more expenditure than income. Then also I explained because A6 is the karaka of A6 is the karaka of medical profession. A2 there indicates that the native earns money through medical profession. See, I advise you, all listeners, don't listen to videos individually and separately. Sometimes we have to listen to the videos, watch the videos together in with a comparative view, to have a clear understanding of the nature of the profession and the nature of the padas in the chart. Saturn is aspected by AMK Jupiter in Vrishabha, which is the Shashtapada A6, and also the Kosapada A2, which indicates the sources of earning. Saturn is aspecting and being aspected by Mars, the GK, then to Venus, MK, and the Lord of A6 and A2 Vrasabha. So, and then Ketu, the natural karaka for medical profession. Then come to Rajyapada A10. He is in Kanya, which is occupied by exalted Mercury, the natural karaka for medical profession. The Rajyapada A10 in Kanya is aspected by Moon, the Putrakarka PK from Mithuna. Mithuna is again, remember, it is fifth from A5. A5 is Kumbha. Fifth from A5 is Mithuna, which is the 10th from A10. A10 is Kanya. And also the second from A2. Second from A2, 10th from A10, fifth from A5. You try to correlate these three. By again, it is aspected by the Sun. Saturn is aspected by Sun. A10. A10 is aspected by Sun, the Atmakaraka, and also the Karaka for medical profession. Sun is Atmakaraka and also the Karaka for government service. So then Lord of A10. Lord of A10 is Mercury. He is in Kanya, exalted. And it has all the connections which the A10 Kanya has. So we need not discuss them separately. It is noteworthy to see Midhuna is the 10th from A10 Kanya, the 5th from A5 Kumbha, and also the 2nd from A2 Vrishaba. So we may expect that the native may pursue a profession connected to A5 and A6 also. So let's verify the checklist now. The Arudalabha Kumbha, the Lord of Arudalabha Saturn, Rajyapada Kanya, the Lord of A10 Kanya is Mercury. They are all connected to, see the connections. They are connected to A6, Vrishaba, Lord of A6, Venus, then GK, Mars, AMK, Jupiter, Mercury and Ketu, the natural carcass for medical profession. So the native is a doctor, it is very clear. Then again, the same Arudalabha, Lord of Arudalabha, A10, Lord of A10, AMK, they are all connected to either A5, Kumbha, Lord of A5, Saturn, the fifth from A5, Mithuna, the Lord of Mithuna, Mercury, Putrakaraka, PK, Moon, Jupiter and Mercury, the natural carcass for teaching. So hence the native may be expected to be a teacher or a professor in a medical college. Then the A10, Kanya, the Lord of A10 Mercury, the 10th from A10 Midhuna are all aspected by the Sun. The next aspect of his profession. They are aspected by the Sun, the Karka for government service. So we may expect that the native may be a professor in a government homeopathy medical college. So now verify the combinations mentioned by the say Jaimini. Let us also verify Jaimini combinations. Here, Atmakaraka is Sun, the Karakansa Lagna is Mithuna. The Karakansa Lagna is aspected by Moon, the PK, and it is aspected by Mercury. So he is a doctor. So there are two combinations, two or three combinations. One combination says Karakansa Lagna must be aspected by Mercury, Venus, and Mercury, Venus, and Moon. There is another combination saying the Karakansa Lagna must be aspected by Mercury and Moon. Venus is not mentioned in that combination. So the combination here applies. So the another aspect of this chart is if Karakavansh Lagna are the second or fifth from Karakavansh Lagna. Karakavansh Lagna, second or fifth from Karakavansh Lagna is connected to Jupiter and Moon, Jupiter and Moon, Venus and Moon, or Mercury and Moon. There are three types of combinations mentioned here. The native is an author. If they are connected to Jupiter and Moon, an author of great books. Venus and Moon, a little less standard. And Mercury, Moon, ordinary standard, books of ordinary standard. Here, the Karkavansh Lagna is occupied by Moon and it is aspected by Mercury. And Mercury is exalted. So you may expect that the native may publish books. It is also said that if the Karakavansh Lagna is connected to Mercury, Moon, the native is a doctor. So all these combinations apply here. Raj Yoga is present in the D10 chart. A A10 Kanya is occupied by its own Lord, exalted Mercury. That itself is a Raj Yoga. Uttarakaraka PK Moon occupies Mithuna, which is 10 from A10, and it is aspecting Kanya and Mercury there. That is AK Sun, PK Moon, and DK Mercury, Lord of A10, all aspecting one another. This is a great Rajya. Now, the analysis of the chart is over. But now, I want to give you an analysis or explanation for your clarity. So some of you or many of you are very much bothered, worried about one point. If Arudalabha or A10 or Lord of A10, AMK are connected to one pada, Lord of that pada, it is very easy to decide the profession. That is what I am telling you. Please see. We have been studying profession of the native in the last about 20 to 25 charts. We are applying certain combinations for each profession and applying to those charts. This experience appears to be very smooth and successful only because we already know the profession of the native. We already know the profession of the native and we are applying the relevant combination which is already tested. But if somebody approaches you with the birth details of a recently born child or a boy studying in a high school to predict the probable profession of the boy and to advise him to choose the profession, the combination, group, what we call group, combination in the intermediate, whether it is MPC or BPC. Sir, what combination should the boy study? MPC for engineering or BPC for medical? So you please advise us. This is the problem. So then what we do draw the chart and look into it. Then you follow the same procedure we are practicing. See, for example, identify all the padas which are connected to Arudalabha or Lord of Arudalabha or A10, Lord of A10 and AMK. If there is only one pada, the Lord of that pada, the Karaka are connected to them, then it is good. You can immediately give them the prediction and it will come true, certainly. But life is not so simple, life is not so straight. So also astrology. So if there are more than one, two, three, four, or five padas connected to Arudalabha, Lord of Arudalabha, then what to do and how to eliminate the irrelevant padas and choose the correct pada. Here, in this present chart under consideration, identify all the padas first. We have A3. A3 is in Mesha. The third from A3 is Mithuna. A3 Mesha aspects Kumbha, the Arudalabha. So A3 is Pada. A3 is connected to Arudalabha. Third from A3 is Mithuna, which is aspected by A10 Kanya. And also Mithuna, the third from A3, the same as the 10th from A10 Kanya. Then you see another pada. So I think we may have a doubt. Why should we not predict the profession of the native, which is signified by the third pada, A3? Again, there is another problem. A7. A7 is Dharapada. Dharapada is in Masha. And the seventh from Dharapada is Tola. So both are aspecting Arudhalava, Kumbha. Then the lords of Mars and Venus. Mars, Lord of A7, Venus, the Lord of 7 from A7, they are together in Vrishchika. They are aspecting, they have mutual aspect with the Lord of Arudhalabha, that is the Saturn in Karkataka. So the AMK Jupiter aspects Saturn, the Lord of Arudhalabha. So the native may pursue a profession connected to A7 also, like business. Next, A4, Matrupada, is in Karkataka. The fourth from A4 is Tola. Both Karkataka and Tola are aspected by are aspecting Arudhalabha Kumbha. And A4 combines with the Lord of Arudhalabha. Very strong combination. Saturn is in Karkataka. The fourth from A4 Tola. Karkataka, that is A4, and also fourth from A4 Tola is aspected by AMK Jupiter from Purushaka. The Lord of the fourth, Lord of A4, Karkataka, Moon is in Mithuna, which is 10th from A10, Kanya. Moon is in the 12th house from Karkataka. The Lord of fourth from A4 is Venus, is in Vrishchika. Vrishchika, Venus aspects the Lord of Arudalabha, Saturn in Karkataka, and AMK, Jupiter aspect A4 and also Saturn therein. So A4 also may indicate the profession of the native. You come to sixth, A6, Shashtapada. We have seen already that A6, Lord of A6 and GK are connected to Arudalabha, Lord of Arudalabha, 8 and etc. Then you see fifth, A5. A5 is Putrapada. We have seen Putrapada also, and we have concluded that the native will become a professor of in a medical college. Now, how to identify the correct profession of the native? So then we have to eliminate some padas which are not suitable. How to eliminate? So this is how I think I, I have a proposal. You please test and verify. We have to eliminate some of these padas which ultimately do not decide the profession. The process of elimination is number one. The padas connected to GK should be eliminated, except some. The padas or karakas not connected to AMK, they also must be eliminated. So AMK is the karaka who should be connected to every pada which may signify profession. GK should not be connected. So I had discussed that point. The first step to pick out the Jnati Karaka and the padas connected to GK. The GK is important for those professions connected to A3 and A6. We know the professions connected to A3 are sportsmen, artists, singers, dancers, etc., computer and computer related activities, etc. The professions connected to A6 are lawyers, doctors, police, military, etc. For all these professions indicated by A3, AC, and A6, the GK for all professions indicated by other padas A4, A5, A7, etc., the GK spoils the karkatwas of A3 and A7. A5 need not be mentioned here because this A5 indicates that the native is a teacher. The native is a teacher of what? A teacher of medicine in a medical college. So GK automatically is involved in with connected to A5 also in this particular chart. But in any other chart where the is a teacher of mathematics, this GK should not be connected to A5. So here, all professions indicated by A4, A7, GK spoils the karkatwas of A4 and A7. Here in this chart, see, A4 is in Karkataka. The fourth from A4 is Kola. A4 Karkataka is aspected by GK Mars from Vrishchika. The Lord of fourth from A4 Tola, that is Venus, is MK also. Venus is MK, Karaka of the fourth Bhava. Combines with GK Mars, also the Karaka of the fourth Bhava Venus, that is MK. Venus also combines with GK Mars. The Lord of A4 Mars is in Lord of A4 Moon is in Mithuna, which is the 12th from A4 Karkataka. So any Lord should not be in the 12th house from that house or that pada. That's a basic principle. So here the Lord of A4 Moon is in the 12th house from Karkataka. So he loses his strength. Then A4 cannot indicate a profession of the native. Then A7. A7 is in Mesha. So 7 from A7 is Polar. And A7 and 7 from A7 are aspected by, see, the Dharapada aspects Arudha, they are aspecting A7, 7 from A7 are aspecting Arudha. The Lord of A7 Mars and the Lord of 7 from A7 Venus combine in Vrishchika. But here Mars is a GK, and the GK Mars and Venus combination is aspecting the Lord of Arudhalabha Saturn, the Dharpada A7, etc. So A7, Masha, Venus, the seventh from A7, are afflicted by GK. So the native may not pursue a profession which is indicated by the seventh house business, etc. Then A3, Bhratrupada. Bhratrupada indicates, the Karakattvas. A3 is in Mesha, aspects Arudhalabha. A3, the third from A3 is Mithuna, which is the 10th from A10. Lord of A3 Mars is GK. We know A3 and A6 are complementary because A6 or GK is always connected in any chart with A3 or Lord of A3 or BK. This is true for all charts, not only for this chart or any chart. Here we can see that the Lord of A3 is Mars, and Mars is in Vrishchika aspecting A3. The Bhratrukaraka Saturn also is aspected by Mars. So Arudhalabha Kumbha is aspected by PK Saturn. So, but Saturn is in mutual aspect with AMK Jupiter. So here also we can say that the native may pursue a profession connected to A3. A3 Mesha, Lord of Mesha Mars, Lord of third from A3 Mithuna, Lord of third from A3 Mercury, BK Saturn are all connected to Arudhalabha, Lord of Arudhalabha, Saturn, A10, and AMK Jupiter. Hence, all the requirements for the native to pursue any profession connected to the third house are fulfilled. Then how? But the native is, he is not a child. He is 27 years old. So if he has any taste or talent for music or dancing, singing, or interest in sports, so he has no interest like that. So he cannot pursue any profession signified by the third house. Then how can you say that the combination will not give the result? So the combination is there. I say the boy is not interested in any of these significations of the third house. He cannot pursue any profession in that case. Then how to justify that? Then I propose one reason why this combination will not bear fruit. See here, we know if Arudha Lagna is there, the eighth from Arudha Lagna is occupied by a planet, very benefic, very strong planet, but he is aspecting the 12th house from Arudha Lagna. This combination is possible if Arudha Lagna is a dual sign, like Kanya, Mena, Midhuna, or Dhanus. Here, for example, say here Rajyapada is Kanya, a dual sign. For example, for the time being, you think Kanya is Arudha Lagna. A3 and A7 are in the 8th house, Masha from Kanya. They are aspecting Simha, which is the 12th house from Rajyapada Kanya. So they lose their significations and to completely lose their significations. They cannot signify the profession. So a simple rule. Now, you apply this principle not only for Arudha Lagna and the 8th house from Arudha Lagna. You apply this to Arudha Lagna and any pada in the 8th house, not only planet in the 8th house. You can take the pada which is in the 8th house from Arudha Lagna. If you remember, when we discussed the chart of the Nizam of Hyderabad, there the Rajyapada was in the 8th house from Arudha Lagna Midhuna. You see that chart. We know Nizam of Hyderabad lost his kingdom. So that is not good. So I extend this principle that the 8th house must be occupied by not only a planet, it may be occupied by a pada like A7 or A3 or A10. from Arudha Lagna. And extend the same principle to not only from Arudha Lagna to any pada. Say, for example, Rajya pada. From eighth house from Rajya pada is occupied by A3 and say A7. So A3 and A7 cannot give the profession. Because A3 and A7 are aspecting the 12th house. Sometimes, because A10 is Rajyapada is a dual sign, it has the planets in the 8th house and they are aspecting the 12th house from Rajyapada. Suppose if Rajyapada is not a dual sign, the planets in the 8th house will not aspect the 12th house. Then we must consider the planets in the 12th house. If any pada or Lord of the pada or Karaka is in the 12th house from Rajyapada, so that pada cannot bear fruit. So please verify any chart and you must practice. You must practice. See number of charts. Thank you.